Pretty recent upload from Scare Theater. Looks interesting. The 2006 volleyball incident image origins. I don't know what that means, so let's figure it out. I know he makes great content, so let's go. W Scare Theater.
Horrific tragedies occur every day. Just glance at the latest headlines and you'll quickly find stories of this week's disaster.
2006
But imagine the surreal horror
incident.
of being one of the only few people who remember one of the most horrifying events of all time. This unsettling premise lies at the heart of the infamous legend of the 2006 volleyball incident, a disastrous event that allegedly occurred nearly 2 decades ago, but by all public records, seems to have never actually happened.
Huh?
The earliest known mention of this event is from an anonymous 4chan post from April 3rd, 2017. A user submitted a post titled, "How Deep Are You Into Conspiracies?" where they included a picture of a conspiracy theory tier list. You're likely familiar with many of these, some of which I've even made videos about before, but one entry that caught people's interest was located at the deepest level tier.
I've never really gotten into conspiracies. Is it worth it? I guess the Mandela effect is there, so never mind.
The 2006 volleyball incident.
Okay.
Immediately, several users responded to the thread, inquiring for more information about the incident. Eventually, a user, who appears to be the original poster, replied with information on the incident that would spark discussions about this to this very day. They claimed that the following information was what they experienced firsthand. The 2006 volleyball incident was a massacre that occurred at a school volleyball game somewhere in the Dakotas or Nebraska. The user says they heard about the incident when they went on a trip to Rushmore in 2006,
Okay.
and while at a gas station in Nebraska, they saw a newspaper that reported shots fired at a small town 10 miles away. They saw news of this again when they made it to South Dakota.
A shooting?
Throughout the rest of their trip, they only heard it being talked about one more time during a motel breakfast. They end their reply with the words, "It stayed in the back of my mind for a long time, until I slowly forgot.
So how does a mass shooting or bombing on a whole volleyball team, how is that a conspiracy now?"
Remembered and joked about it during a gaming session, and these two guys asked to talk more about it. They had the same experience, and I remember on X someone talking about something similar to the volleyball incident, so I just stick it in these pictures hoping someone will remember. 17 to 24 people died at once, and no one talks about it?
What?
And with this,
Bro.
the legend became alive.
How does that
Just like
happen?
this user said, there seems to be absolutely zero reports of this incident ever occurring. Running Google searches will bring up nothing other than people talking about the mystery,
Not even an
and
article?
trying to find old news archives will leave you empty-handed. The bizarre nature of this event perplexed many users and led to this becoming a topic that was periodically brought up again on newer 4chan posts all the way up to 2024. As new discussions emerged, people contributed their own theories as to how such a tragic event could have gone completely forgotten.
Okay.
Some theories were more mundane but reasonable, suggesting that this could just be another Mandela effect-like situation, since there are some vaguely similar events that happened at around that time that may have been misremembered as this. Other theories were more absurd, stating that the reason there is no record of this happening was because this is a result of a government assassination
Why do I see XXX10?
gone wrong, and the government subsequently covered it up. As discussions about this incident continued
Lame
to
and
escalate,
obvious
eventually rumors
conspiracy
started to
answer.
surface that footage of the incident existed somewhere. In a 2019 4chan post on the X board, where someone asked, "What's the most disturbing thing you've ever seen on the internet?" someone even replied that they saw the footage from the volleyball incident. Not much new information about the event came up until June of 2024,
Oh,
when
shit.
Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers uploaded a deep
Well, I
web browsing
think I know about
video
him.
where he came across alleged photo snippets taken from the footage.
They've got 2006 volley. Oh my god.
The pictures really aren't all that graphic, and they look pretty fake, but I'm still going to keep them censored anyway, just to stay on
Lame.
the safe side away from YouTube's stranglehold. We're
Fair.
going to go much more in depth with these images in a minute,
I get
but
it.
first I want to talk more about the general authenticity of the legend itself.
Okay. Is it real?
Most people at this point have pretty much agreed that this whole incident likely never happened, and this whole thing is just a myth. It's difficult to outright debunk something like this, since the legend has made itself unfalsifiable by nature. Sure, we could point to the fact that there's no evidence of this ever happening, but that's literally the whole point of the story. If evidence of this event did exist, then it wouldn't really be a mystery.
Yeah.
Instead, you could go by how absurd most of these theories even sound in the first place. I mean, the whole government assassination theory is just ridiculous. It's pretty crazy to think that not only would a terrorist or something be hiding out in a school, but also that the government would send a militia in to assassinate them right in the building during school hours nonetheless, and somehow think this was a good plan. I know not everyone has faith in the government's competency, but come on. But one thing I keep thinking about is how odd it is that this whole thing even got so much traction in the first place. The one important part of the story that's supposed to make it mysterious is that a portion of people should actually remember the incident occurring. In a lot of posts discussing the event, you'll even see comments of people noting how weird it is that everyone swears they remember this, yet there's no record of it happening. But the thing is, people are just saying that everyone remembers this. Almost no one has actually claimed that they do remember it though. I've looked through dozens of 4chan posts from 2017 to 2024 that mention this event, and I only found 2 people who claim to have any memory of this. Everyone else always just asks what the 2006 volleyball incident is. So with that, all we have is some random dude online who claims he remembers a vague event that didn't happen. You know, when I was younger, I had a false memory that Michael Jackson's death occurred while he was on stage. For whatever reason, I remembered that he was performing on stage and that—
Wasn't it practice on a stage, or it might have been after the practice? I don't even know.
And collapsed from a drug overdose and then died.
When
I told people I remembered that, you know what they said? Huh, that's weird, I guess he just misremembered. But suddenly, if I were to post that online, now everyone believes I'm onto something and makes a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
It's just odd.
Another
thing I want to bring up regarding the origin of this myth is something that the creator Chilling Scares brought up in his video where he briefly talked about the 2006 volleyball incident. He mentioned a post he found on the Above Top Secret forum from 2017.
While researching this incident, I came across an interesting post on the forum Above Top Secret from 2017. In this post, the OP was talking about creating a hoax in which multiple school shootings happened in 2006 in tiny towns, but any information relating to these incidents has been mysteriously erased from the public record.
Now, maybe I'm just misunderstanding something, but it sounds like he's saying that this forum post could be from the person who started the myth, and this post is essentially like them confessing their plans to start the hoax prior to them doing it.
So it was all just a big old rumor that got started, maybe?
From reading the post, that's not the idea that I got. To me, this reads more like this person is just saying they came across a discussion of the 2006 volleyball incident somewhere else online, and they just wanted to share it with people. Their reference to calling it just a prank is them saying they personally don't believe it happened. This must be the case because the earliest known mention of the 2006 volleyball incident was on April 3rd, 2017. And this Above Top Secret post was posted on September 27th, 2017, nearly 6 months later. In all likelihood, I just think the user from the April 2017 4chan post made the whole thing up to start a rumor, and that's all there is to it. All that leaves now is the pictures from earlier and where they came from. First, we're going to start with the most well-known picture that is alleged to be from the incident. I'm not even going to talk about how this is clearly a post-edit filter and that VHS cameras weren't really used often in 2006 because I think that goes without saying. But the actual location that this picture was taken is known. The Reddit user OKDistance4442 saw a comment where someone mentioned that the picture looked similar to Utica High School, and then later he found a video from one of Utica's volleyball games. And this 100% checks out as the location seen in the photo. The wall pattern is a perfect match, as well as the flag and red scoreboard. We can also see the U on the floor. For the next points I need to make, I'm gonna have to take the risk and uncensor a couple of these images. I'm sure you'll agree with me that these really are nothing graphic. This picture, which we're probably meant to believe is a photo of a body bag,
why was this blurred?
Is also easily explainable. Although body bags can be read, they're usually not. These are clearly gym bags. It's also important to note that the timestamp that appears in the first picture is absent from all the other pictures, which doesn't make sense. Next, we'll have a look at this picture, which shows what's supposed to be blood on the gym floor. I'm sure most of you agree with me that this just looks fake, but I know that really isn't a satisfying answer. So we can prove that this was added in with some sort of photo editing software by using an error level analysis filter. This works by showing us compression artifacts present in an image. To give you a quick understanding of how this works, we're going to use this example picture of a bunch of ketchup on the floor to simulate a red substance on the ground. When an image is saved in a lossy format, compression algorithms will discard some of the data. The amount of data lost is known as the error level. The ELA filter will create a visual representation of the error levels. All we're looking for here is consistency. If the error level is consistent across the image, it's likely unedited. As you can see here, this image checks out as legitimate. But if I add a few brushstrokes to the image using Photoshop and run this again, we'll see a subtle but noticeable effect around the section I Photoshopped in. Okay, great. Now let's try this with the volleyball picture.
Okay.
If we apply the filter to this, we can see clear compression artifacts almost exclusively around the areas with the supposed blood. This photo was clearly modified. The last picture related to this event that I want to talk about is this one,
Call it out in
most
4K.
of which I'm still going to censor. This one is puzzling because at the bottom it reads CBI not for release. Now some parts of this definitely still look fake. For example, there's blood in the picture that doesn't look real. But I don't have too much to say about this except for one thing. Just a disclaimer, this is complete speculation on my part. It's a thought that came into my head and I just sort of wanted to share it. We can only see like the bottom quarter of 4 people in this picture, and of them, 2 of them are wearing dark pants and shoes. Something about this picture just gives me vibes of the very few photos of the Columbine footage that are publicly available. It makes me think maybe this picture was a small screen cap taken from a piece of Columbine footage. It would explain the CBI not for release text. One possible acronym for CBI is Colorado Bureau of Investigation. And where did Columbine happen? That's right, Colorado.
He's cooking.
Once again, just a theory, take this with a grain of salt.
Nah, he's cooking.
That's all I have for you. Of course, there's still some questions left to be answered regarding these pictures, but this should cover a good portion of them. It's likely that the 2006 volleyball incident was started on 4chan in 2017 as a myth, and then years later someone decided to fabricate these images in order to add to the rumor. The person who initially created these images, however, remains a mystery. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the flip side.
That was a good video. It was a good video. Interesting story. It's crazy how the internet can just completely fabricate something and turn it into something it's not. And then a video gets made out of it. Yeah, when he said 2006 was almost 2 decades ago. Come on, bro. I guess I'm there.
In my hometown, there's nobody left. Set up the bro with a play, don't fumble it. Damn, he fumbled the ball, I gotta recover it. East Street lacking, other bitch caught up. He spun back, that's not what I taught him. Now I gotta make the play.